So once again, let's try to start the session. So for us, it's a pleasure to be a finalist in the SAP Partner Edge for Program Development Challenge. And today you're going to see our product. Is there anyone who wasn't able to join yesterday's general session with the introduction to our product? One? Okay, so let me maybe then give just a very, very brief introduction to what we do. So the Inside Selling Suite is a cloud-based solution, and it helps to make sales process better and make it more reasonable. It runs in the SAP HANA Cloud, so it brings the best of both worlds together, meaning big data in the cloud, and also to connect to the good old on-premise world and leverage the legacy data that is already in the system. So our primary users are, of course, sales representatives across the world, across various industries, but our main focus is really in high-tech industry as well as industry, machinery, and components. Those sales reps struggle on a day-to-day basis, of course, with the products that are getting more and more complex, and of course, prices. It's needless to say that also getting to the right price is also quite a challenge for the sales rep in our days. So let's see how our system helps the sales rep. So we're going to quickly go through the process, like from opportunity through quote to sales order. So we're going to start with creating an opportunity for a system-generated opportunity, just like our name of our software is Inside Selling Suite, means that this opportunity has already created by the system by really running insights. And I'll show you how the system is doing that. As a second step, we will run through the sales configuration with the variant product. We're going to do the pricing, discount, and margin section, selling recommendation, cross-selling. Let's see how good we are in terms of timing, because we got roughly 10 minutes. And once we're done with the entire sales process, I would also like you to see another concept of really starting selling, which is our guided selling capability. It's more or less a questionnaire-based approach to get the right products into your quote and offer to your customer. So, all right, very good. So the system has created in the background, since I was saying one of my favorite customers, System Tech, is today visiting this Expo. So the system has created already an opportunity for me. Let us go quickly into the details. Can you still read that? Yeah? So the system knew that, hey, one of my customers will be attending today, the Big Data and Cloud Expo, and this customer is always buying in November products from my organization, always the same. In this case, the product which the customer is typically buying on a frequent basis is an enterprise router. And let's start with the quotation process for it. So the system has automatically added this opportunity to my inbox. So whenever I as a salesman enter my system in the morning, the system is already saying, here are your priorities, and this is the topic that you have to be working on. So let us quickly go into the details. So this is the opportunity. It has a name for it. It has the status, just in case you want to improve opportunities and so on. It got a volume, and of course a chance of success. Maybe you're going to change that later. As a consecutive step in sales, of course, opportunity needs to be quoted. So before I'm able to do so, let me just quickly create a quote in our system. Let me give a name to it. Here's the customer, the System Tech account, and let's keep all of the rest data just like the system was saying so far. So let me now open the quote, and for the sake of seeing it a bit better, I'm going to go into full screen mode. So here you see the heart of our product. It's the configuration screen, and on the header it contains all relevant information like the title, like what type is it, what date of expiry, and so on. And in the middle you see already the line item which has been added by the opportunity, and the opportunity already contained a product, the router. So let me quickly start with the configuration itself. First of all, I have to choose the model type. So let's start with the base model. Or maybe let's make it a big quote, because all of us love to sell big things. So we could change that. And as you can see, by changing one of the characteristics here of my product model, it also changes pictures in the background. Let me quickly continue. Today we're going to sell our router to the US customer. As the next characteristic, I would have to choose number of access points. Let's go for 3. Would I want to add additional PSU unit, power supply unit? Let's say no. Of course, a router typically sits either in a rack or on the wall. Let me just choose the rack. And now the configuration itself is done. But as you can see, and that's quite typically for, I would say, for most of the exhibitors today, they sell hardware, but they also sell software and maybe even something like a maintenance contract. So the bill of material explosion here happened in the background. And the enterprise router always comes with a maintenance contract, so it also have to provide here the details. So a maintenance contract has a time. In our case, let's choose the professional one. And of course, the maintenance contract has a period. So let me just choose 1 year. And by doing so, also prices change, of course, in the overall quote. So now, as you can see, the entire configuration for this quote is being done. It shows the status here. It shows green. That is perfect. So before I would like to provide my customer with a binding offer, I may want to check, am I able to deliver that stuff in time, and so on. So as a next step, I would really run the ATP check, the availability to promise check. And now in the background, the system is calling a live attached ECC system and says this particular router with the exact configuration is available in plant 1000, storage location, quantity, and so on. Of course, I could adjust my line item in terms of pricing, giving a discount to make this really attractive for the customer. I could also, besides doing that on a line item basis, I could also do that here on an overall quote discount. Let's make it maybe a small discount and provide that to my customer. As a next step, of course, I would need to really create a PDF, a proposal for my customer. Of course, I could change things in here and give it another text for it, giving more details to it. But let's say, no, this is okay, so let me create that and send that off via email, for instance. Here we go. Everything is in here. You see the entire bill of material. Of course, you could add pictures. Of course, you could add your standard terms and conditions. Anything that you have as of today in your sales process also being included. So now you can see that the overall quote is approved, and as a next step, I could really send that off to an ERP system. Or I could say, maybe now I really do not exactly know what my customer really needs. Let's start with a different way of creating the quote. So now I'm going to do, instead of doing everything bottom up, I'm going to use the system capabilities, which we call guided selling, which is going to ask me, Mirko, what do you want to really sell? The first question is, and this is something I as a sales rep would then discuss with my customer, is say, are you adding or replacing a server? Let's add one. Next question is, do you have sufficient storage rack space? Let's say, well, my data center, probably no. What is the purpose of this server? Is it application hosting, database hosting, and so on? Let's just choose application. Do you need backup power support? I say, yes, that's always a good thing. Do I have sufficient power support? Probably no. How many users are expected to use this server? I would say 50 to 200. Does the server need to be expanded for future upgrades? Of course, all of us are in IT, that's always a good thing, so let's say yes. And do you need maintenance support? Now the system runs in the background through the entire product catalog and provides me with the matching products. As you can see here, this is our results screen. Since I said I probably do not have sufficient rack space, I need to include that into my quote. Same on the UPS, I'm just going to choose it, and now I can compare the products with the matching rate and all the specific details that you see in here to really choose the best fit product to the problem of my customer. Here you see the match rating, so let's choose I think it's also the cheapest one, so my customer may be price sensitive, so let's quickly create the quote. Same process as before, so I got to give it a name. Let's call it quote guided selling. Of course, I would need to say what is the customer name I'm selling to. And here we go. So the system has done the entire configuration in the background, has built the bill of material and so on. And I think this is the time reminder over here. So I'm going to stop at this point. As a logical next step, the sales rep, of course, would start with the quotation process, running the pricing and so on, and ultimately have the conversation with the customer to really start with the order. Thank you so much.